Trojan Sports Now.
Welcome back to Trojan Sports Now. The Trojan football team is hitting the road, or air I should say, as they took a plane flight out to Idaho Thursday ahead of Saturday's game against Idaho. Jahmal Kennedy has Neil Brown's matchup preview.
Last year, it was a missed field goal that doomed the Trojans on homecoming against Idaho, who escaped the vet with a 19-16 victory. But it's a new year now, and it's a lot of firsts for the Trojans coming up.
First conference road game, like usual, our goal is to go out and get a win, but it's going to be a first flight for a lot of our young guys on our football team, a lot of our newcomers that are just playing, true freshmen or junior college transfers. For most of these guys, a lot of first time they've ever been on a plane in their lives. So it's there's a lot that goes into that, not just the football game.
But remember that there is a football game to be played, and the Vendals are one of the up-and-coming teams in the conference.
A lot of respect for Paul Petrino and his staff. They came in here and beat us on homecoming last year. So, and most of that football team's back, and I think for them it starts offensively.
Hold that thought, Coach. But it is important to know that Coach Brown often reminds us that this Troy team is not the same as last year's. But he was honest when talking about last year's matchup.
Well, I don't know if we should have won. We never led in the game. You know what I mean? They handled us from the get-go. We had opportunities to win the game. I thought they played better than us and deserved to win.
And now for the offensive players to watch for.
Linehan, the quarterback, can make all the throws. He really hurt us last year with his feet. He can make plays when the pocket breaks down, and that's continued. He made several huge plays in the game against UNLV. The running back, Duckworth, is a physical runner. They do a good job mixing up their run schemes. They have two tight ends that they use in the passing game a lot. I think two of their top four leading receivers are tight ends, so that's going to be a different element that we haven't faced this year. A lot of speed at wideout. A lot of those guys are back. They lose their leading receiver from a year ago, but the rest of those guys are back, and they're big up front, really big. It's going to be 2 weeks in a row that we're going to be challenged in the passing game.
And when the Trojans have the ball, the defensive challenges are clear.
Defensively, they're really a pain to prepare for because they mix up their fronts and their coverages so much. 3 down, 4 down. They've got the defensive player of the week this week in the conference, and Caden Ellis. He made a huge play on a pick six against UNLV, really changed the momentum of that game. And they did a good job. They got after us last year defensively. I thought they created a lot of chaos. We did not play very well.
Idaho spoiled the party last year on homecoming for Troy. You can bet the Trojans will be looking for redemption come Saturday at 4 p.m. And although Jason Hamilton has not been pleased with the play of his team lately, they are still even in conference play with 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. He said he wanted to see better preparation from his team. Let's hope they have prepared well heading onto the road this weekend. First up for the Trojans is a meeting with Georgia State Friday evening at 6 p.m. And then to round out the weekend, the Trojans will take on Georgia Southern Sunday at noon. It hasn't been a perfect start to the season for the volleyball team, but they are in conference play now, and anything can happen. The Trojans look to dig themselves out of an 0-2 conference record, and they'll be in the Peach State trying to change their luck.
We go to Georgia State on Friday and Georgia Southern on Saturday. They both had similar weekends to us. Georgia State went 0-2, Georgia Southern went 1-1, and we've traditionally struggled at both of those places. So to go on the road, we're going to have to play at our optimum to be able to try to, at worst, split. And I think with what we're doing this week in practice, I think we'll really get a benefit out of everything that we've changed.
Sonny Kirkpatrick's team will first look to tame the Panthers of Georgia State at 5 p.m. on Friday before taking on the Eagles of Georgia Southern Saturday at 5:30. The cross-country team just keeps running and running and running, but really, the team will be on the trails in a familiar place this weekend where they started their season, as a matter of fact, back in Oxford, Alabama.
Jacksonville State is having a foothills race up there in Oxford, and we'll see some top teams in the region. Georgia Tech will be there, Oldham to be there. I think there's some conference pros that could show up as well. We'll go with our heavy hitters, who I think is going to be in the top 5 or 6 in my mind, and then we'll go and mix it up with them and see where we're at.
With just over a month out from the conference championship, you could call this the home stretch for Coach Brown and his squad, but they will be running in Oxford, Alabama on Saturday. And serves up, the men and women tennis teams are opening their fall season Friday. Not in the same area, but away from each other. The men are coming up with the NTSU Shootout, hosted by Middle Tennessee and Murfreesboro, Tennessee, while the women are in Statesboro, Georgia, taking on Georgia Southern. Both tournaments will run throughout the weekend. And that's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Check us out online at youtube.com/Troy Trojan Vision to catch anything you missed. For Jahmal Kennedy, I'm Ryan Renfrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Trojans.
Trojan Sports Now.